Oh, well, hello there. Well, today's Wednesday, the 22nd of April, and we are still in quarantine, as I'm sure you are as well. And today I want to talk to you about an obscure verse from the end of one of Paul's letters. This comes from the end of 2 Timothy. This is a letter that Paul wrote to a young man that he'd been mentoring for several years as a pastor. And at the end he says this: when you come, because he and Timothy were going to see each other soon, bring the cloak that I left with Carpus at Troas, and my scrolls, especially the parchments. And really today what I want to give you is just a suggestion that we can sort of glean from these verses. And it might feel a little obscure that we're talking about Paul asking Timothy to pick up, a cloak and some scrolls. But I just want to point out that Paul was a man of literature. He was a man who loved to read, and many great men and women throughout history have been readers. In fact, there's a saying that, leaders are readers. And so I want to encourage you, even if you are not the kind of person who typically is a voracious reader and you don't devour books, I want to encourage you to take this time when you're spending a little bit more time at home to do some reading. In fact, it's interesting, a few years ago, the Pew Research Center did a study and they found that about a quarter of Americans didn't read a single book in the previous year in any form. And so I want to encourage you, maybe it's an audiobook, maybe it's through Kindle, maybe it's an actual physical book, but pick up a book and do some reading while you are at home. Now again, this is just a suggestion. This is something I think is a wise use of time. I can't give you this as a command from Scripture, but look into books that relate to your industry, your job, make you a better employee. Maybe something that's just fiction and fun to read. Maybe it's a classic that you've heard a lot about, you're interested in, but you've never really had the time. Whatever you end up doing, I just encourage you to spend some time reading and growing yourself personally and spiritually during this time. All right, thanks guys. Talk to you later.